Hi, my name is Roy, and welcome for discounted vacant lot. So I assume the reason that you are watching this video, that you probably we had a quick chat with you, and you may express some interest to selling your land, and also you may got our offer already, and probably your second thought gonna have. Was like so how did you get to this price? Like I was thinking that this value like more or less. Okay, so I just want to share with you our process. So I've outlined maybe 22 points, or maybe we have some a bit more, and I want to show you what we are doing. Okay, so we can go by one, not necessarily that it's the priority of everything, but and some tools we can check online. Some tools we may need to call to some authorities like the counties or the health department, and sometimes we need to call to the title company or attorney or probate lawyer. Again, every case is different, and basically land is a lot is unlike houses. Not like if you're going to a neighborhood with all the like with have like developed neighborhoods, so all the houses pretty much the same. Again, maybe they have the condition is a bit more dated or not, but the value are pretty much like easy to gauge. But with land is a lot. It's a different game, and I want just to share with you what our process. Okay, so the first very simple thing is the size. Okay, so size of the property is first is like is this size first is what's the actual size. Okay, that's I'm going to show you in a second what do I mean. So what's the recorded size, and what's the actual size of the property, because there are some discrepancies. Sometimes they are very minor, sometimes they are a bit more than that. And the other thing, like if all the lots in the area are 5 acres and your property is only 1 acre, so it's maybe this lot may not be as desirable as the other lots. And the other way around, if your lot is quite big and all the other ones are quite small, so you have some potential develop potential. So I just want to show you, for example, this is like in South Carolina. So like this property has recorded the recorded size of this property is at 3.68 acres. Okay, um, so again, this is like like this system is like it's called MapRight. It's linked to the county GIS system. And I just want to measure with you, okay, the the area of this property. So if you can see here, it's 5.5 acre. Okay, so basically here there are 2 acres discrepancy. So this is a benefit for the owner. Okay, and it's again not in all these counties, they're not all the same. So again, if you can go to this one, for example, the size should be 2 acre. Okay, that's what's recorded in the county, and that's what's recorded probably in the legal description. Uh, and this is 2 acres. So this is 1 to 1, and this is one property, one next to the other. Okay, so in this case, I'm not sure if the owner is aware of that or not, but we may offer a lot more than that because the actual size is different. We may need to do a survey here, okay, because people are buying what it's recorded, it's not what actual size. So that's just the thing about size, okay. The second thing is access, okay. So there are a few things around access. The first thing, if there is a legal access, if your property is sitting on a public road, okay. And the other thing is physical access. Some people, maybe there are some developments that a developer, and it's a like abandoned area, so they may allow so they have like on the subdivision you have a legal access, but actually you can't. It's just a forest. Okay, you can't really access the property. Okay, that's the one thing. And also the other thing, what type of road is that? Like a paved road? If that like um, a dirt road, what's the quality of the road? If it's like it's pretty wide or not. So, and sometimes if it's on a highway, like in this way, so I'm not sure this is a highway, but some highways, they are not in this specific case. Some highway actually, because some highways the property are landlocked, because you're not allowed to have a driver to your property, because people are driving so fast, so you need to have like a like wide curve. So that's why you have to have a minimum width. So I'm not sure, not talking about this one, but sometimes this property is not buildable because you can't have a driveway, and maybe this one it is. Okay, you see some properties that are landlocked. You see like this one, but also maybe there's mini lane. Okay, so again, this property is a lot, even if there is a legal, you see there's maybe there is a small lane in here, but this property is a lot less desirable due to access, because they need to go to someone else's property, and who wants that? People wants to have their own privacy. So access is a very big thing. You see, like in here, this is like a dirt road, gravel road. I'm not sure what kind of road is that, but so the benefit, they have some privacy here, but they need to go through lots of other private properties. Okay, the second thing is the shape. Okay, shape, it's also play a big role in this space. So see, every property has a different shape. Some has very odd shapes. You see, like this one. Or so, and some people have a very skinny access, but like this one. So, for example, this one. Sorry. So, like this one, maybe it's has is 2.5 acres, and maybe this is like, and also I don't know. This one is 2.5 acres, but of course they don't have the same value, because not just has an odd shape. You need to the cost, like to running all the utilities and the drive and everything. It's just it's costs a lot more. So that's very important. You have to keep in mind. Sometimes you have like a triangle, so there are lots of areas here. They're not usable. So the actual usable area is pretty small. The next thing is topography, and many people are overlooking this topography. So again, I have here the ability to have some topography. Uh, so here, this area is pretty flat. Okay, so if you see, let's remove this. Okay, so this is like height line. So you see, this is 20 feet, this is 10. But now let's try to go to somewhere else. Let's try to go to this area. Let me pause. Okay, now we are getting to these areas. You see, they are very steep. It goes from 130, so this to 180. So this is like a hill or something. Okay, so again, when we are looking at this kind of properties, the value is a lot different, because again, if you are planning, for example, this property 210, so this is not that bad. But if you are planning to put a house, so the grading and all the site work, so you need to factor that. So again, so if there is a flat property, you cannot compare it to someone that is very elevated. Let me pause again. Okay, so we talk about the shape and topography. Now let's talk about flood zones. Okay, so flood zone here there's something called FEMA map. It's again, it's a public information. These systems gather all the information, uh, like sync to the FEMA map, and so some areas the estimate is going to flood every 100 years, and some every 500 years. So, and I want to just, let's take this property. Okay, this is like 100% in the flood zone. Okay, so this property, again, every county is different, but this may not be buildable. Okay, and if it will be buildable, maybe you need to lift up the building. So again, you need to the construction cost is going to be higher, and you need to pay like for insurance, like it's and other annual expenses. But like from this, but I'm going to give another example, like this property. Okay, it's a bit in the flood zone, but if your structure is not in the flood zone, okay, you don't need to pay for insurance. So I think you need to do a survey and everything. But again, this is nice property, and this is not, and this is one next to the other. The next thing, so it's flood zone and wetland. Okay, wetland plus wetland. Let's here wetland. So wetland, it's even so with flood zone, you may be able to do something. With wetland, you can't. Okay, so this is like a swamp. Sometimes even if we overlay the contour lines, so this is like you see. So this is like a very low area, so everything is drained to here, and especially in winter it's like very moist area. And sometimes if there is a wetland next to your access point of the property, basically you're just not gonna able to access the property, so you may need to find an alternative access point, and again it just costs more money, and that's the thing. The next thing is if your property is wooded or clear. Okay, so again, if the property is like fully wooded, just to clear the lot, I don't know, it's like 3-4 thousand per acre. Okay, so but if the lot property is cleared, so it's more, so it has more improvement. Okay, so that's very good. The other thing is like special attributes. Some people, some areas, they have a nice view. Okay, so if there is a neighborhood where one has a better view, the other one has less view, the view is not that wow, so there is a difference. The next thing, if there is a nice like for mountain view. The next one, if access to or proximity to water sources, that's very important. The next thing is proximity to cities or amenities attributes. So again, if you're close to the city, close to employment, close to main roads, it's like the in property in real estate, like location. So this has a bigger effect. So if here this is Columbia and South Carolina, so again, a land in here worth more than a land in here. In here, the average lot size is a lot smaller than the lot in here. Okay, but there's one thing, there is something here that they may not have in here, which is the next bit. It's utilities. Okay, so if this is a developed area, they may have electricity, they have public water, public sewer. Okay, so when you are coming to develop the lot, you don't need to spend, I don't know, between 10 to 20,000, or even 10 to 30,000 to dig a well and to put a septic system. And also you can have a smaller lot, because a 1 acre lot, 1 acre lot. So if you don't have a well and if you don't have a septic, if you don't have access to public utilities, your lot has to be more than 1 acre, because other than that, you're not going to be able to fit the utilities in your property. So it makes your property unbuildable. Okay, so that's what we really want to check, if it has well and septic, and what's the condition. Maybe it's not usable. Maybe you need to upgrade it. Maybe you need to put a new system in. Okay, that's a very important point. The next thing is a soil type. Okay, because again, if you're going more to the rural areas, we need to put a septic system, but you cannot put septic system on every lot. Okay, because it depends on the soil, how good the all the wastewater, okay, they penetrate the water. So in our thing, we have soil. Okay, we're going to overlay the soil, and again, the colors doesn't mean anything if it's red or green, but it just means it has a different type of soil. So like this property has multiple type of soil. Okay, so I'm just assuming, okay, the red one, it's not, you can't perk, it's not going to perk, so you can put a septic system in here, so your house, the structure can be only at the back, not in the front. Okay, so that's something very important to keep in mind. Again, if your property or your deed has easement, okay, maybe there is power line, okay, transmission lines. You see there is transmission line here, and if it's going through your property, so here it's going through the road, but sometimes it's going through private property. So here is a very good area. But if you're gonna go a bit to the rural area, you see, like this small property has a power line on top of it. So not only you're not able to, so all this area you're not allowed to build, but also it's not that desirable to have like a high power line next to your property. Some lots has areas that you need to allocate to someone else can need to access your property. So it's easement for access and utilities to someone else. Improvements, some lots already have some improvements. Improvements can be a well and septic. Improvement can be a shed maybe. Okay, and improvement or even can be like an old mobile home. Maybe they can put like a slab over there. The next thing is the value of the surrounding houses. So again, if the houses around your property they are nice and maintained, of course it's gonna have a positive effect on your lot, and the other way around. Okay, if or maybe also maybe there is no houses in the area. Okay, so it's not that desirable because people want to live not that far from people. Some people want to live off the grid, but not everybody. Building restrictions, and also it's like property use. Okay, so in some areas you can so people want sometime to have like mobile and manufacture homes or mobile homes because it's a cheaper way of constructions. So it makes this property more desirable. Okay, or sometimes they force you to have certain types of homes. Sometimes during the lot size, it's going to affect how many beds you can have or how big your house is going to be or where is the location of the property. Okay, so I mean, so it's maybe because of like wetland or flood zone like we said, or maybe because of topography, or maybe because of other things. Okay, deed restrictions, so it's not that common, but sometimes on the deed it's restricted like what you can do with it. Okay, it's very common in HOA communities, but also that zoning again it's connected to here. So if it's commercial, like agriculture, residential, industrial, but also for every zoning has a specific land use, and it's going to affect maybe if your property is not, if it's buildable or not. Okay, so maybe it can use only for recreational use, and of course if it's recreational use has a lower value than if it's buildable, right? And the next thing is the local market activity. If there are lots of demand in the area, not many demand, if there are many property for sale or not. So that's also one thing that we need to take into consideration. It's had a development potential. Okay, if you can subdivide it or not. Again, if it's development potential, it's related to what's the zoning of the property use, and the local market activity, all linked it has or has not. Okay, D type again, sometimes it's important, sometimes it's not, but some people like bought the property from a tax sale, and usually if you sell it, the deed is not insurable. Okay, the property is not insurable, the deed not insurable, so you cannot build on it because when you sell a tax sale property, the tax search is very problematic. Okay, so the value can be, I don't know, very low. Okay, because you can't build on it. Sometimes you need to wait, or maybe sometimes you need to fix it. Like there are some lawyers that specialize in that. Uh, of course, if you have like taxes, like open lease and taxes on the property, it's going to affect the price. It's more than affect the offset the offer. And another thing is like how many owners. Okay, so some companies, some people, they have like 5 or 6 owners, so it's more work for the buyer to work with them. Some people don't talk to their, maybe it's like heirs, they got the property from their parents or grandparents, so it's very hard to work with this type of people because they live in multiple states, so it's more work on our end on, and also more work with the title company end. So, and some people, not all of them are alive. Sometimes they have a spouse. So I was talking for 20 minutes just to how to get the price, and so it's a long process. Okay, so again, just to summarize what I just said, there is no like 1 acre property, one side by side, don't have to have the same value. Okay, that's the main thing in here, because you may say, my neighbor, my next door neighbor just sold this property for X amount. That's good. Okay, that's great, good for him, but it doesn't say your property is going to sell for the same. Maybe your property is going to value more than him, maybe less. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much to listening all the way here. I hope you learned something along the way. Um, Again, if you're not sure about something, uh, just reach out to us. We're gonna help you to educate you. And so the main thing is, if you are ready to sell your property, you have few options, right? Um, and and maybe we're gonna be the people who are gonna buy from you. Okay, so thank you so much, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.